Thank you so much for watching Landumc Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. The program you are about to see is All in the Family. It seeks to throw a humorous spotlight on our frailties, prejudices, and concerns. By making them a source of laughter, we hope to show in a mature fashion just how absurd they are. This happened to be the show's disclaimer for the CBS sitcom that ran over the series' opening credits, informing folks that they were about to watch on their TVs a different kind of show. This seemed at the time to be a necessary disclaimer to begin the series. The show came during a time when the Vietnam War was causing major socio-political division in the nation. At that time, the most popular show on TV was Marcus Welby, MD, a medical drama show. This was a time of Nixon's America, and it was about to be challenged by a show featuring a blue-collar conservative named Archie Bunker, whose statements on the show had never been seen on TV screens before, at least not in such a blunt way. Almost everybody was pretty nervous about the pilot airing. Carol O'Connor, who played Archie Bunker, was so convinced that the show would tank that he requested a round-trip ticket to return to his home in Rome following the pilot's production. The TV network at the time was so anxious about this pilot's racial and political jabs that it wanted to air the second episode first. This caused a lot of tension and arguments between Norman Lear and CBS. Lear and his co-producer, Bud Yorkin, threatened to cease any further production if the network didn't air the original pilot first. He stated that they already knew the controversial subjects that they were going to tackle, and the show was going to be funny. That was the purpose, to make people laugh. One of the funnier trivia points of the series was that it broke what's called the porcelain ceiling. The first television show to ever feature a toilet on the screen was Leave It to Beaver. But the very first to actually flush a toilet was this show, but it didn't go down without some hesitation, as the censors reportedly delayed the event to decide whether it would be good and proper. They eventually allowed it to happen, but they dictated the fact that the bowl and the seat would have to be out of view of the camera. Norman Lear got the idea for the series from a British show. He read about the success of the British sitcom Till Death Do Us Part in TV Guide, learning that the show was about a father and son-in-law who constantly fought over politics. That idea made Lear think about his relationship with his own father, who called him the laziest white kid he'd ever met. The show's creator sat down after that and wrote about 100 pages of notes that just spilled out of him, and that's where he also came up with the original title, called Justice for All, with the idea naming his main character Archie Justice. The entire premise of the series is completely about this working-class white family that lives in Queens, New York, with its patriarch, Archie Bunker, as an outspoken, narrow-minded, seemingly prejudiced against anyone who is not like him or his idea about how people should be. His wife, Edith, is sweet and understanding, though somewhat naive and uneducated. Her husband frequently calls her a dingbat. Their one child, Gloria, is generally kind and good-natured, like her mother, but she also displays traces of her father's stubbornness and temper, and she's also a feminist. Gloria is married to Michael, also known as Meathead by Archie. His values are influenced and shaped by the counterculture of the 1960s. These two couples represent the real-life clash of values between the greatest generation and baby boomers. For much of the series, the Stivicks live in the bunker's home to save money. This provides an abundant opportunity for them to irritate each other, making plenty of subjects for the writers in the show. Prior to this series, Sally Struthers had done a decent amount of work in Hollywood, but she wasn't actually a known commodity to everyone. Before joining Archie and Edith, she appeared in 8 episodes of the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour, 13 episodes of the Tim Conway Comedy Hour, and 2 movies. But she wasn't a common face or a common name to most viewers. But that all changed when the first season of the series was put into reruns during the summer after its first season airing. Then, for the first time, millions and millions of viewers began to identify Struthers. The problem for her at that time was that she really was only identified as her character on the show. The movie The Getaway from 1972 granted her the opportunity to try something new and to distinguish herself from her television persona. Everything that she had done on TV had her being a silly, sweet American apple pie little girl, more homespun. And then as she started doing movies, she became cast as sort of a loose woman, a trampy lady, almost a prostitute type. It's almost like the 2 different medias, the big screen and the small screen, saw her in different ways. And she enjoyed this because it gave her the opportunity to go a full 180 degrees from where she was at. She describes herself as closer to the personality of Gloria, and she loved playing that character. She liked the regularity of it and knowing every morning what she had to do and where she had to be. But even more so, she is probably burned into our minds as being the spokesman for Save the Children. These commercials were splashed all over TV for years and years. But she decided to quit doing these commercials because of a terrifying experience that she had at one point. She had gone to Uganda on a small plane to meet one of the kids that she was sponsoring. They ended up bringing the child from his village, which was a few hours away. They filmed some commercials with him, and she brought him toys, and she played with him also. Abruptly, a roving band of guerrilla warfare guys came out of the bushes and asked him where he was from. He named his village, and these guerrillas felt like that they had kidnapped him, and they were going to shoot everybody involved. Suddenly, a priest who happened to speak the same language as the men instructed Struthers and the people with her to back away without ever turning their back to the guerrillas. They ended up all surviving this incident, but it was a complete turning point for this actress. She thought, I'm never going to do this again. I'll never put myself in a situation where this can happen. And she didn't. Take a look back at one of the classic shows from the 1970s. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.